Hello hunters. Today I'm going to go over my personal loadout that I use, which is a dual blades loadout based on the water element. To start us off, I do want to mention a few things. So number one, when we look at our skills over here on the right, there's a few things to note. Now, understanding of course that everyone may be using a different talisman, it may not be possible to acquire all these skills. So what I want to point out is the top 3 or 4 skills that you should definitely make sure you have if you're going for an elemental dual blades loadout. And that goes for any element, even fire, thunder, dragon, any of them. So to start out, you absolutely, most importantly, have to have a maxed out level 5 of whatever element attack you use. So in the case of my loadout, that's water attack. You got to have that level 5. You also want to make sure you have critical element maxed out, because critical element, of course, increases the damage based on the element you're using when you hit a monster's weak point. So you got to have that maxed out at level 3. And finally, weakness exploit is another absolutely critical one, because what weakness exploit does is it increases your affinity and damage when you're hitting the weak spot of a monster, which is what you should be doing. So when you combine those 3 together, they're the most important ones. So now let's get into the actual loadout and what we're using today. So first of all, for my weapon choice, I am using Dark Aurora Plus, which is the 10 rarity version of the Mizutsune weapon. Now Mizutsune is my favorite monster in the game, which is quite why I'm biased towards this weapon. It is a beautiful looking set of dual blades. They have a really cool, kind of classic sword look to them, and that's why I really like them. Technically, you can get more damage from the water element with the Mud Shredders, the weapon for the Almudron. But I am partial to the Dark Aurora Plus, and it does have one benefit over the Mud Shredders, which is that it does have access to the maximum pink sharpness, even without any handicraft being used. So there is that if that fits your playstyle more, and in my case, I think it does. For my slots on there, I'm using a Stream Jewel 1, which of course increases your water attack, and an Anti-Dragon Jewel 2, which increases the attack against almost every monster type in the game. If you're fighting an Elder Dragon, however, you'll want to use the Anti-Aerial Rampage slot skill. Moving down, we have the Malzeno Helm, which comes with a Wirebug Whisperer level 2 on there, and a Weakness Exploit level 1. Very powerful. And then we've put 2 Critical Jewel 2 on there. And what Critical Jewel 2 does is it increases your critical boost. We have the Alicant Thorax X for our chest piece with 2 Stream Jewels, which gives us critical element, critical eye, and water attack level 2. We have Alloy Vambraces X, which combined with a Tenderizer Jewel 2 and a Slider Jewel 1 for an extra skill, that gives us level 1 weakness exploit on this piece, level 2 critical eye, and level 1 affinity sliding. It also comes with a level 1 water attack inherently. We use the Divine Ire Obi for our waist with a tier 2 tenderizer, which gives us level 1 of chain crit, level 2 critical element, level 1 razor sharp, and level 1 weakness exploit, all very important skills to our loadout. For our pants, we're using Alicant's Cura X, which again gives us a water attack with a Stream Jewel 1 on there. It gives us critical boost, it gives us an evade window, which is a nice little extra skill to have, and it gives us level 2 of critical eye. And then finally on the bottom here, I do have a talisman, and this talisman right here comes with a level 2 chain crit and a level 1 Wirebug Whisperer. I got really lucky with this talisman. I do suggest that you have the melting pot constantly in use to try to find a talisman with chain crit level 2. It absolutely makes build crafting for the dual blades so much easier when you have one. Of course, it did take me a while to acquire this one, and that's why I mentioned at the earlier part of the video the 3 most important skills, in case your talisman prohibits you from getting all of them. I did put a Wirebug Jewel 2 on here for that extra Wirebug Whisperer level 1, and I put a Grinder Jewel on here for speed sharpening. So, I want to look at our skills all together now and explain what each of them do. So, the skills that I have maxed out on this loadout, I find are the ones that synergize best with the Water Dual Blades playstyle. We have maxed out Chain Crit, Wirebug Whisperer, critical element, weakness exploit, critical boost, water attack, and critical eye. Going down from the list here, what chain crit does is it basically increases your damage and affinity and elemental attack. You know, all the good stuff that we need for our dual blades playstyle. Each time that you hit 5 consecutive hits, it will increase your stats dramatically when you hit 5 consecutive hits. Now, with dual blades fast and aggressive playstyle that it has, especially with the new skills from Sunbreak, it is very easy to hit 5 hits in a row. You're almost always going to be hitting 5 hits in a row with dual blades. So chain crit is on a lot of the time, and that's why it's such a great skill that you do not want to overlook. We have Wirebug Whisperer at a level 3. Now, this one, it doesn't directly increase your DPS because, of course, it does just help regenerate your wirebugs faster and all of that kind of thing. But it does increase your DPS when you look at it from the point of view of you always have your wirebugs up and ready to go 9 times out of 10. And your wirebugs give you access to your powerful skills such as Spiral Slash, the new Sunbreak skill, or Piercing Bind if you prefer a more grounded playstyle for dual blades. Spiral Slash is absolutely amazing with elemental dual blades though, and that's the skill I highly recommend using more times than you can. And the other important thing about Wirebug Whisperer is it gives you access to your Shrouded Vault counter move more often, which is my personal favorite move in the game. It's very flashy and it protects you from any kind of damage or roar from a monster, so it's absolutely essential for this playstyle. And then you've also got Critical Element level 3. We've already talked about what Critical Element does. It essentially increases your elemental attack on your affinity. And you've got Weakness Exploit at level 3. Again, one we talked about earlier when we were going through the important top 3 skills. It's going to increase the damage done to those weak spots. Critical Boost is going to actually increase your critical damage when you're hitting, again, a critical hit. So increasing the damage of each critical hit. And then Water Attack, self-explanatory, it increases your elemental water attack. With Critical Eye rounding out at level 7, helping us by increasing our affinity altogether. When you put this all together, you have a fantastic loadout. One that is absolutely able to shred monsters at an alarmingly fast rate with dual blades. It's so important that you know as well that with these skills, you're able to use these on any element. Just simply replace the water attack with whatever element you like, such as fire, thunder, or any of the others, and make sure you're using a weapon that goes with that. This build is foolproof, it works really well, it doesn't require skills like Dereliction that can reduce your health. It's a loadout that I've found through much build crafting to be the most consistently good and strong loadout for any hunt. It's one that I've stuck with for quite a while now, and I don't see myself changing it anytime soon. I did want to mention one other thing. When we take a look at our actual status here, and we look at our skill loadouts, I use the blue swap scroll primarily, and I've got my blue swap scroll set up to Demon Mode, Demon Flight, Slide Slash Combo, Spiral Slash, and Shrouded Vault. Shrouded Vault being my counter, Slide Slash Combo being the new switch skill that allows you to counter while moving. Demon Mode, Demon Flight, of course, iconic dual blades moves, and Spiral Slash, the new Silkbind move that allows you to, of course, drill into the monster for a lot of burst damage. Now, the reason that it's important to bring this up is you have got to make sure you're using Demon Mode and not Feral Demon Mode on your primary switch skill scroll if you're using elemental dual blades, because what they did in Sunbreak is they made it to where when you're using Demon Mode, you get a substantial increase to your elemental attack when you're in Demon Mode. So it's absolutely important that you use Demon Mode and not Feral Demon Mode, which is contradictory to what we had in Base Rise, where everybody preferred to use Feral Demon Mode all the time. So just an important tip in case you didn't know that or you missed it in the patch notes. The aerial playstyle with Demon Flight works really good with this loadout because it allows you to get so many hits when you're able to kind of do the big spin move down the monster's spine, combining that with Demon Flight, activating that chain crit, hitting those weak spots, and just absolutely making sure that you're taking advantage of all your great critical skills on there. That's pretty much the loadout that I have. Again, it's Critical Eye level 7, Water Attack level 5, Critical Boost level 3, Weakness Exploit level 3, Critical Element level 3, Firebug Whisperer level 3, Chain Crit level 3, and then I go ahead and I use the Dark Aurora plus Mizutsune weapon. I hope you found this video useful. This is my personal loadout, and like I said, the good thing about this Dual Blades loadout that I'm giving you is you can essentially apply those skills to any dual blade or any element that you prefer, and it's going to work out for you. I promise it's going to give you great damage output with the dual blades. The dual blades have never been better than they are in Sunbreak. It's a fun weapon, and it's actually very viable for DPS. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.